Hello, everybody. This is Love from Above by your Sibling Spirit Guides. I'm Maureen, and this is my brother.
Hey everyone. Hey Maureen, this is Brian.
Hey, Brian, we're so happy to be here. If you can believe it, on this podcast, we share daily channelings we receive from star beings, ascended masters, mythical beings who really exist, and occasionally our ancestors. And Brian, today's topic everybody needs to listen to, everybody needs to work on, and that's overcoming fear. Oh my gosh, fear is just embedded in our culture, and don't you think it's definitely a practice to overcome fear?
Yeah, absolutely. Just that's what everyone is driven by in other news and in culture in generally is just fear-based and worrying about different things. And so, yeah, as we've mentioned in other past episodes, is to turn off the news and just focus on love and don't be trapped by fear, right?
Yeah, last year Brian and I both read Gary Busey's autobiography, and do you remember he had a great quote? It was like, if you're in fear, you're not in faith. And it's just really it's that simple. But again, it's just a practice of overcoming the fear. So yeah, today's an episode I swear everybody needs. So you want to kick us off with our first topic, which is transcending fear.
Yeah, so this was from August 23rd of 2024. We come forth presenting ourselves as masters who have reached beyond the level of human understanding. The greater glory of the One, the Almighty, dwells within the hearts and souls of each individual. We access we access this part of your being which most humans guard with jealousy and fright. To truly open the heart chakra is to receive all the blessings. Unblocking the clogged arteries caused by past incursions of a frightful nature is necessary to attend to the ones in the highest realms. To move forth within the arteries to unlock, unblock, and remove scar tissue which has accumulated and hardened the heart. You may call us the cardiovascular surgeons of the metaphysical realms. We come forth now with and bring a message for those who listen to your words. The heart must be opened to allow every experience to fully resonate within the human body. So let me pause there. So yeah, I love it. The analogy to the cardiovascular surgeon of the metaphysical realm. But yeah, I think we've talked about this in like overcoming past fears. I think what was one of the books we've read, they had a practice for sort of doing those and letting those go because, that's it's easy to sort of get caught up in maybe a traumatic event from your past and think about that from time to time. And it's really about releasing those and focusing on the love. What are your thoughts, Maureen?
Yeah, well, the big one is, the books by Michael Singer on Untethered Soul, but I think this has come into the common knowledge of everyday people. Brian, I just finished Beyonce's Mother autobiography, great book by Tina Knowles. And she talks about this, how if you have a traumatic experience and you freeze up, it's embedded into your body. It's embedded into your heart, and then you have to release it later on. And Michael Singer calls it a samskara. And so he says, when you have those experiences, which you know exactly what I'm talking about, something really frightens you or hurts you to a deep part of your soul, and you just become like super, super tight. He's like, you need to do the exact opposite because it's an opportunity for the same cycle that happened before that allowed this ugliness to embed in your body to allow it to release. So there's a lot of information, like I said, especially if Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mother, is talking about it in her book. That's a surprise.
Yeah, that's how it was Michael Singer. That was think of the Samskara thing exactly. So
Yeah.
that's a great book for people to look into.
Oh my gosh, life changing. Brian, I have notes on it on my phone, and when a samskara is hit, I go through the notes. Instead of reading the whole book, I'll just go through the notes and just, read what he advises. But yeah, that's a transformative book. But I'll go on with what they say. They say the analogy we will provide is as if the television is on, but you're not paying attention. It just hums in the background. This is the case with most human beings with their heart chakra. They've closed it so tightly that it no longer opens to receive. When escalating your path towards a greater love, the first step is to notice that when the body feels the aspects of fear. The shoulders hunch up, the fingernails dig into the hands, the heart clenches, the toes curl. These are the sensations that should ring as alarm bells. When this happens, you want to do the exact opposite. Take a deep breath, relax the fingers, uncurl the toes, open the heart. This is the faith, the trust that is spoken so widely about in your mystical tasks. To trust that everything will turn out fabulous, for it already has. Look at you in your greater glory. You are a divine, perfect example of the ever expanding love of the one creator. Wherever you are in your life, it is a thing of beauty to cherish, to embolden you to greater strides. We wish now to provide the brother and sister pair with an infusion of our greater wisdom. This you shall receive over the course of many years. Those who wish to reap the same benefits need only to ask, and we shall hurry by their side. Isn't that beautiful, Brian?
Yeah, I'm all for it. The infusion of our greater wisdom over, over the course of many years. So that's, yeah, of course, say yes to that, and I'm all for any greater wisdom. Yeah, so then I'll go on to December 1st of 2024. We get a message of spiritual insights and messages from Archangel Gabriel. So it goes on to say, I am the radiant one known as Gabriel. I shower forth my beacon of absorbent light to all who can utter the true symbols of the Christ consciousness. I wish to address the misnomers often described to the one creator. The one creator loves all. There are no exceptions. Regardless of the classifications or stratas of your planet, all receive this love in equal measure. The one does not discriminate between their children. The one does not harm or hurt anyone. The casualties that produce heightened fearful emotions, causing humans to cry out and their heavenly Lord have no resonance, no purpose, for the one has only created paradise. Anything less than paradise is of an earthly attribution. The one creator does not wish to divide that which he or she has brought into this world. They like to unite with a purposeful reunification. Many have taken the voice of the one and attribute it to their own. These are always fallacies. There are no exceptions. The one creator does not live amidst your people. Only the remnants of the divine spark, which would reunify within each personage. The one does not prefer babies or elderly to the midlife active person. There are no preferences. I wish to call from the human memory the obvious misstatements made by others who say they have been sent by the one. So there's a lot to go through there. What's your first thought? What comes to mind?
My first thought is with regards to gay people. I can't tell you how many times the Bible has been used that, gay people, their lifestyle is an anathema. And,
Yeah.
I just no, everyone receives the one creator's love equally. There's no, oh, we don't like gay people. And you know what the people will say? Well, it's in the Bible. Well, guess what? I mean, yeah. So you can go through down history. I mean, the Crusades, horrible, horrible, horrible thing that went on for centuries. So yeah, what resonates with you, brother?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things just in the news where it's, as we're looking in the Middle East, or I mean, all these things where it's about, people of different religions fighting over different things like that. So it all makes, same sort of thing. But there's so many times, yeah, to your point, you get the really religious sects that are calling out different issues, like with gay people or with whatever sins they think you've had in the past. So I think it's a great message that those are misstatements and they've not been sent by the one creator.
And I just want to say, and that's a really strong message. I mean, just the way it's written or it was communicated to us, most of the messages are just very flowery and full of love and support. And this is just, it's a very strong message.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'm grateful, Archangel Gabriel. I'll go on with, we've talked about this before, Brian. Entertainment instills fear. So we just gotta say it again. This is from January 9th, 2025. And it says, we watch in alarm as most humans fail to recognize their glorification of their own personal natures. Oh, how we wish your reflective devices return the true image of your natural selves. Then you would marvel at each day. We are concerned about entertainment devices that instill fear. These should be avoided. The peace and joyfulness of eternal love of our feelings that should be replicated within your own mind. There is no greater source of friction than the disharmony that occurs within the interior self. We turn once again to your news stations. These are unnecessary alarms that grow fear rapidly and unnecessarily. The news should always be deleted from your personal entertainment devices. Any news that is not of the glorification of oneself or of the selves of others should be ignored and treated rightfully with scorn. Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly true. We've said this before, but uh, don't look at the news and to just be, it's hard to do for most people, but that's how people get to all their news too, is through social media. So it should be ignored.
And
And
how this message changed me, Brian, because I haven't watched the news in like 20 years or read a newspaper in like 20 years. But FYI, listeners, Brian and I lived in England when we were young, and I am, you know, I love to follow the royal family, but when I follow the royal family, it's always divisive. It's very rarely good news. I mean, the British royal family is, they don't get along with each other. And so, yeah, that's my big takeaway is I've got to stop following Brian, which is huge. I know everything about the British royal family, and I got to stop following them because the news is not of a good nature.
yeah, all the drama, there's always some
Are,
drama. Yeah.
are you shocked? Are you absolutely shocked about this? Because I mean, love to follow the British. I know the intricacies of everything, but I gotta stop. I gotta stop watching and listening of it because it's not good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it's just a powerful message, and I love it's short, but it just really hits home that what's important for everyone to keep that in mind. So with that, I'm going to go into the closing that you put together. And great messages here, Maureen. But dearest one, this is from December 24th, so Christmas Eve of 2023. Dearest one, we come to you in a place of helping those who require our assistance. Our advice is always to remain in a place of loving fear. Fear is a trigger point which can enumerate painful lesions that require tender, loving care. When you love fear, fear is nothing, there's nothing left to accomplish. You have surmounted the last hurdle. That is all, dear one. Rest and be well. We surround you with the love and light of the one creator and bid you a fond adieu. So that's almost contradicts what we some of our prior messages, but it's what do you think about that? I get it, like you don't fear when you love fear, there's nothing left to accomplish, but it seems
Well, I
uh,
think what they're saying is when you love fear, when that hits you, like it's exactly what we're saying, when you just totally relax and you don't worry about it
yeah.
because, you're at a place where the fear hits you and you're like, you do exactly what Singer says, and, you allow the energy to flow freely through you and you release that samskara and you don't let it impede you in any way. And that's really where we're going, is to be in a place where you recognize that fear hits your body and you're like, oh, I'm so grateful. I'm going to release this old samskara that's been impeding me for, decades or years or whatever. And you let it go and it doesn't impact your life in any way. How beautiful is that?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So yeah, so just know that I mean, just because you don't embrace fear, that fearful things are still going to happen for you. So it's how you process them, right? It's like,
Right.
and so you process them away that don't leave that samskar or impact on you, and just embrace it and feel the emotion that's related to it, but then let it go and not uh, dwell on whatever happened, right?
Well, it's the same thing about like in life, of like loving the journey. So it's not like you get to love life when you find the new job or when you retire or when you move to a new house. It's right now. It's right now. Bliss, peace, joy. It's right now. And it's not when you, and it's the same, it's saying this message to me is saying the same thing. It's like loving fear is loving that moment when it comes to you and you're like, oh, I'm so grateful for this, releasing everything. And that's what it's like to be in a place of pure joy, pure bliss, this reunification that they're talking about a lot lately in our new messages.
Yeah. Well said. Very good.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Bye, everyone.